Folks, how you doing? Hopefully, everything's working fine. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while. It's been a whole darn month since we last did this, since we last sat here and worked out what the diggity is going on in Coriolis, Emissary Lost, Mercy of the Icons. No, I've got it wrong already. Hi, fellow hoodlum, how you doing? So where are we? We are on GM prep session number 6 for Coriolis, Emissary Lost, Coup and Connection, and I think we're on session 3. If you haven't been following along, I think we're about 75% of the way through the campaign now, 75% of the way done, which is really exciting. We had a bit of a break, and we are heading at a bit of breakneck speed towards the end of the first book, this book that's behind me. We've picked up a couple of extra crewmates. We've got Akida and Raiwa have joined us as we hit Kua. And as I think the saying goes, we're in the endgame now. So, what did we do last time we prepped? Okay, yeah, we made the ship that we didn't actually use that much. And we just went through some of the bits about whether we wanted to faff around in the jungle and that kind of stuff. Because this final section of the book has a big old faff around in the jungle. Hey Jonathan, how you doing? So this last session of the book has a big old faff around in the jungle bit, then play around in the conglomerate in the shadow of the monolith, and then you go back out into the swamps. I wasn't sure whether our players would want to faff around in the jungle and then faff around some more, or whether they'd want to go into town and have a look at that. Into town, just popping down to the monolith for some bread. I wasn't sure of what they'd want to do, because we're on a 3-day countdown to the end of the Coriolis year. We need to find the emissary and Nur ASAP. And so I wasn't sure what they'd be up for and what they'd be down to get into when we were doing that. So let's where is my mouse gone? There you are. Thank you. Right. So let's have a look down here. We've just completed this section. So can you see? Can you see? There we go. We've just completed the Coup and Connection. Well, we just started the Coup and Connection. And I think we've done Act 1. I think we've done that. So we'll go to page 224 in a minute and just check through whether we have those bits and pieces. And then we'll set ourselves up for Big Trouble in Little Algol, which is a brilliant title for an act. A brilliant title. I think James will appreciate that title. So we'll head down and we'll have a look at that bit, and we'll refresh ourselves with what the Act 3 stuff is, and then we'll play at 8 p.m. tonight. No, 9 p.m. these days. 9 p.m. BST on twitch.tv/Garblag Games. So let's go. What are we looking for? Page 124. Boink. Doink, doink, doink. Alright, so let's come back up here. Let's have a look at that. Oh, that's the picture. Alright, so we're looking for that by the end of this act. Then they have these nice boxes at the bottom of this. Alright, there we go. Can you see that? Can you see? Do you see? How do you see? It's a dark room. Can you tell what I've been watching recently? All right. So when the act ends, the PCs will have figured out that they should head for the conglomerate. They sort of knew that already, but they wanted to have a bit of a fight. Hey, Painful GM, how you doing? Sorry, DM. Painful DM. You know, you're a DM. I'm a GM. Let's call the whole thing even. So when the act ends, the PCs have figured out what they should head for the conglomerate. And they should know that the stasis pods are shipped to Little Algol and unloaded on the Pier 58 in the Cabal district. If they've acquired Artia's manifest, they will know that the Hassam shipping company picks the cargo and that their offices are located in the Souk Habra. Hello, McNeils. How are you doing? It's yeah, I feel the afternoon evening confusion myself. I am not a daytime person. But yeah, so do they know that they're going to the conglomerate and they're going to that pit? Yeah, because we had Artia. We had the guy they've kidnapped literally tell them. And they're sailing by boat that they have literally like commandeered. So they've got the boat and they've got the info and they've got a captive. So in terms of have we covered off what we needed to know for the end of this act? Yeah. I think we have. Excellent. Right, let's scoot. So second active connection takes part in the foot of the monolith, the rundown Little Algol district. Floating markets, dark alleys, and memories of golden days past in Dignitary City. Okay. So this is where we're going to start tonight, quite literally. So we start at the docks, and the rest of the act is open and revolves around the mystery of where the stasis units have gone. The act ends with the PCs planning to and carrying out a daring heist, breaking into the old palace in Dignitary City. All right, okay. We all know well, that heists are really, really hard to pull off well. All right. So some key insights here. During the search of the truth in Little Algol, PCs will find out the following. Stasis pods have been handled by Steve Dawes. Someone seems to be killing everybody off. So this doesn't have to be an assassin. Remember they punted the pariah commander out of the airlock. They punted her out with Zellion on his thing. So the Order assassin is going to be her and not whatever NPC. She's going to be trying to get ahead of them. Final destination of the pods is known by the engineer Jarja Duga and her benefactor nobleman Liod Dolkassar. Right, so her boss knows where they're going and she knows where they're going. Jarja Duga can be found in Liod's palace. The deal made between Salama Abad Atia, Golem and Liod, names Jarja as the person responsible. Okay, so she knows where they're going because she inspects them before they pay him. Okay. So we expect Dolkassar to die because on his deathbed he's going to reveal some key facts. This is the bit I'm interested in. I think this is going to be fun. Akuba is here. You say Akuba. I think Zellion's going to get a kick out of that. James will get a kick out of that. All right, starting scene, the procession. What do we need to know here? Starting scene, the PCs find the body of the couple of Stibors when they visit the Souk Habra, where they might end up caught in a crossfire between armed slummers and the Nestra Defence Forces. Do we want to have more fights? I think we do. We've got a bit of a combat happy team at the minute. We've got some good stuff set up, so maybe we do want to have a couple more fights. I think that's a pacing question rather than anything else. So what have we got going on here? PCs enter the little Algol moors at the piers. All of Artia's previous shipments have gone. Pillar of smoke can be seen by nearby. Okay, so Artia's, yeah. When they arrive, Artia's warehouses are being burnt down by the pariah captain who they punted out of Coriolis. All the stevedores employed to unload the pods, so there's a stevedore shortage on the docks as well. Everybody's cheesed off because the casual labour is gone. PC's actions in Bay Basin have most likely made considerable local impact. I don't think we've left long enough to do that in our game. I am dramatically accelerating the pace of getting from one place to another. So I don't think full word would have got there or disseminated to most people. Their allies definitely aren't the Berbacils, and Dali Osman was not conscious to give them any connections when they got there. So I think quid pro quo, that part is irrelevant for us. They may want to contact Kurahan or Kosha. Alright, so they've got something from her. We've got a little bit of box text. Continue the investigation. We're onto something much bigger. Missing nightingale must be found. Without its song, all is lost. Alright. This bit I like. The Council of Factions is in turmoil. Maybe we could see that Carvis's boss is about to get the sack, because she does. It's important that the PCs find Tubra alive so that they may hear about Leod's palace. Am I accelerating okay, painful DM. Am I accelerating because it's a stream game? Would I recommend it differently? We're a tabletop game. So why am I accelerating it? Because when we start, if we go all the way back to the beginning prep, and we talk about this being less than 10 days to the Cyclade, there's the end of year celebration, and the anniversary of the Emissary stepping onto Coriolis. And when we started, that was 10 game days away. If you tick through, we're only 3 days away. Well, we're 2 days away from the end of the Cyclade. 2 days left. And that's when the judge wants it done by. If we then go off and spend 6 or 7 days liberating Bay Basin, we've missed the judge's deadline. So it's a little bit like Tomb of Annihilation, the D&D campaign, where you've got this hard and fast target. If you don't find this person soon, they're probably going to be dead. If you don't solve the problem soon, they're going to die. But here is 500 pages of wonderful mini side quests your folks can go on. A little bit like the bit in when you go into the cellar of Coriolis and there's the Slummers Court, and you have to, the story is go off and poke this person versus just go down there and find them. to get passage to the Slummers Court. So I literally just threw out the Slummers Court and accelerated the travel and the bits in Bay Basin quicker, because we're tracking days. We're tracking the days. We're managing, we're using, I think I've mentioned it a couple of times, I've been tracking the days and the time we've used on the really lovely Effect. Matthew from Effect made a really lovely Coriolis calendar. It's on the workshop, on Freely Workshop. We've been using that to track the days. We've got 2 days left for the Cyclade. So based on that, there isn't time to have a casual sail down the river. There's no time to stop and rest and take part in a small liberation of Bay Basin and that kind of stuff. So we have to stay on target. You have to remind your players that the judge wants this done. The date is coming. If we don't know the fate, or there's no funeral, or there's no one can say anything about the emissary, they've failed. Their quest giver is their patron's not going to pay them. They haven't done what they needed to. What are they going to do? The judge is not going to give them the ship, their money of the ship legally. How are they going to go up against an angry judge? So we're accelerating it. Where are we? When they get there, so we're going to have them sail into the docks, into the Cabal docks tonight. Well, yeah, tonight, but it's going to be in the morning. And what kind of looks like the sunrise will be the glow of Artia's warehouse. All kinds of stuff going on in the docks, trading offices, customs houses, piers, that kind of stuff. Hover barges, increased commercial donated bandits. Okay, so it's a rough place. Hovercraft have begun forming convoys to reduce risks, which has resulted in... Okay, so there's all kinds of bad shit going down in this place. Where are the waters? Where the green waters of the Rameshah first meet the debris and filth of little Algol shanty towns, we find the piers, jetties, held together by frayed ropes and old change. Both river barges and small canoes moor here, unload their cargo at the pier warehouse, waiting for further transportation. Pier 58 is on the very edge of the docks, a massive jungle wood construction housing 2 warehouses. Pillar of smoke is visible from guard away. Nauseating smell of fire. Alright, so people are ready to pick off any debris and that kind of stuff. And there we go. Cyclade celebrations. It mentions them here. Let's see if we can scroll up a bit. At the beginning of the footsteps of the martyr, the recommended date was 9 days before the start of the New Year's. Preparations for the Cyclades were well underway on board Coriolis, although the misticides and the disappearance of the emissary has ruined the holiday spirit for much of the station's population. On Kua, however, most are unaware of what's been going on in orbit, and this Cyclade celebrations will be as lively as ever. Tarabs and travelling circus groups performing even the smallest neighbourhoods. Enormous amounts of food are being prepared for the annual feast. Unless the PCs have wasted time and missed the Cyclades, the celebrations might coincide with their stay in Little Algol. Well, yeah. Okay, so holiday spirit everywhere. Places are closed, that kind of stuff. Nobody's around. Day off, holidays. Just bureaucracy, public holidays getting in the way of them doing investigations. Excellent. What is this? Sukhabra, Hassam Shipping Company entrance. Right. What did they need to find out from the Hassam here? Entrance is small. Hammer Hammam Tamina. What is this place? Oh, this is a bathhouse. Okay, this is a nice bathhouse. Mosaic skylight, icon city mirror. Oh, carvers should like that. Okay, so this is where they can go and have. This is where they can go and maybe schmooze. Should be able to find a. This is during this scene the PCs. Oh, okay, come back a bit. During this scene, the PCs will encounter. Can you see it? It's behind my head. There we go. I'll move out the way. Slumber fighters and Nestra defense forces. The number of combatants is either side. PCs should be able to track down a survivor from Hassam, from whom they can get more information about the deliveries to Dolkasar. So they need to. What's the line here? Like, I understand what's going on. We're gonna come down the river. We're gonna go to Pier 58. We're gonna find that Artia's warehouse is burnt down. That loads of the stevedores haven't turned up for work today. That it's not that big a concern because everybody's probably winding down for the Cyclade. Let's just come up and look back up at Hamina. Why do we need to? Have I missed something here? I can't remember. Hard to see. This large pontoon. Culture Brewery. There's a brewery open. Hassam Shipping Company. The entrance to Hassam is Hassam's warehouse is the docks. They don't own any stuff themselves, so they just put things on there. Is that just a place? It's just a nice bathhouse. Okay, it's just a place. It's a big old map. And we're down here. Behind my head. Somewhere. These are some fighters, some NPCs. That's a nice picture, isn't it? They make such nice art. That is our assassin. But I'm not going to use this person's name. I'm not going to use. She's not going to be called Atia. I'm going to have to dig out the other name. All right. This is maybe what I'm looking for. The events in the scene are optional, but first the arrival and the last pallbearer should be regarded as more or less mandatory. All right, well, we better read those two quickly, if we should do them. Colour of the scene is for the PCs to find someone who can tell them that the stasis pods are being taken to Leod Dolkasar's palace in Dignitary City. That's all we need. Okay. Pier 58 is bustling. So the order is firebomb the place. Artia is with them. Artir is still alive. So maybe we'll have someone try and kill him. Stasis pods. Close examination reveals they're not completely empty after all. PCs find a cracked, blackened stasis pod with a burned body inside, twisted in agony. Body successful observation tests that find 2 additional bodies. Stevedore's got trapped inside. One of them has a tag with a week's worth of wages. Successful can transfer Hassam's payroll account. I might not include that bit. When the PCs examine 2 bodies on the floor, they see one of them is still alive. Kidnapping victim from Coriolis. She's terrible burdens and can hardly breathe, much less talk. All that remains is for PCs to say prayer and put her out the misery. They're not going to do that. They're going to try and heal her. They're good folk. Alright, so at this point we're going to make sure, once we've done the arrival, we're going to make sure Artir is like pretty fucking useless to them. Or dead. One of the two. So we don't need another PC muddying them around. I think we will do this mystic resonance when they get there, because the emissary has been there, and now we've got 2 PCs who have mystic powers. So I think that will be good. What is it? In her mind's eye, the PC sees foggy mirror image of the world, and out of the mist comes distant echoes of the song. At first it's just a ringing in the air, but gradually changes to an enormously powerful song delivering a sad, woeful lament. Water can suddenly be heard dripping on stone, harsh voices. Song is interrupted by pain shooting from the lumbar and the back of the head. A cold, tight grip closes around the neck, making it harder and harder to breathe. Experiences an echo of the emissary being brought out of stasis in the sultry marshes. Song forebodes the arrival of the agents of the First Horizon, and the imminent death of the emissary herself. After a few minutes, the episode is over and the affected PC feels fine again. Right, so this is real time. The emissary has been woken up, and because they've found a place where the emissary was, there's a resonant feel of what's happening to them now. Welcome, Yossarian. Yes, the secret world of GM prep. We are indeed working out what's going to happen on tonight's stream, and if we're canny, what's going to happen for the next couple of sessions. I think we could probably get 2 or 3 sessions out of Act 2 of this part. So yeah. The tunnels lead only forward like an arrow leaping from its string. I steady myself for the journey's end, living still in death. All that was shall be again. So that's the song. I ain't gonna sing that, but we might feed it in a different language. There's the Hassan shipping emblem. All right, what's happening in this event? Hassan shipping is Sukhabra. It's brimming sacks. Wedged between the two is a smaller number. All right, so that's the shack. Yehuda's agent box. Oh, okay. As the PCs approach the shack, they spot an old soothsayer outside the door to the office. And then she disappears into the crowd. knew that. So the person who was working there, the person who was working in Hassam has been murdered. Blue facial tattoo. Alright, so when they get to Hassam's, everybody's dead. Oh, there's some stuff on that leads them to the Souk Habra. And then also to the baths that we were reading about just before. Okay, so that's kind of making sense now. I think probably gonna ask around. So we'll just read through some of the rumors. Little Algol is full of the proxy dens. PCs discreet where dreams and nightmares are sold. Den is crammed full. Lots of people passed out. So this is some nice bit of cultural stuff. World building stuff. Slave markets. Oh, if they head through the slave markets, they're going to see a couple of the people who were kidnapped. Okay. Nestra patrols. This event's just to pressed on the street. Nestra attacks a squad of Yal. Too tired for words properly. Most of them make it, cut down by Vulcan fire, pools of blood. So just pure violence. The assassin strikes. Unless the PC's investigations are conducted discreetly. They're not going to be discreet. No, their key targets are Tubra and Leo Dolcassar. Explosion. So we can have something explode near them, try and kill them that way. That would be good, yeah, sure. Shamood's Fight Club. What is of use in Shamood's Fight Club to get us along the way? Asking around. Okay, so they might ask around here and then need to de-escalate. Tubra, young half Zenny. If they're helping, they might get an ally. The last poor bear, likely to be hiding intimate where they go speak with no one is allowed to bath. Alright, so that's where the last stevedore is. She thinks the PCs are there to kill them. A manipulation or command. He's running a trades thing. Leah and the RT have stuck a deal which allows Leah to keep some of the pods for themselves. They should know that. Right? No, I think I probably need to catch an explosion or get Artia out of this. Or just make Artia not pay attention. And this is really yesterday. Alright, so when they tried to deliver the other day, they weren't allowed in. Alright, so that's got to happen. They've got to get to that hammam to find that out about them. Then there's the party. I don't think they're gonna do that this week. Okay, Jar 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 is the only one who knows about the special arena. Okay, so they know that one of the pods was special, and Jar Jar is the only one at the party who knows about them. Where's Nur then? Is there anywhere in here that tells us what happened or gives us a place to put Nur? Is she the old? Look at him, he's all grumpy. Red carpet behind the scenes. Alisha, betrothal dance. This is going to be fun. Loose lips, audience with the prince at the prince's mercy. Chat with Leod. Dignitaries. This is the workshop. Frozen cook. Okay. There's Jaya. Last dance, last words. Yeah, so he dies at the thing. Oh no, political thing. Icon's reflection. Collateral damage. Killer strikes, resonance, intruders. Ending Act 2. Where is there anything official? It's what's happened with Nur? Flying. Interference. Sogi. Smugglers, globe dividers. Dark waters, terrace from below, palace gardens. Entrances. Because they're going to want to know what's happened to Nur. Stasis pods. Dark Hunters, ruins, communicators. Maybe it's at the end. Terminus. The interrogation drug. We don't need to give them that, do we? White butterfly. Yeah, that's a really pretty picture. Come back and look at that really pretty picture for a minute. Yeah. False prophet, paladin. Martyrs, seraphs. Important facts. Important facts. The emissary. No loose ends. No. What? Am I looking in the wrong place? Oh, there we go. Wow. All right. So finding their friend. The campaign began with the PCs going off to find their missing friend Nur, and you consider giving them some good news as a reward for their journey's end. Nur might still be alive. If you are a benevolent GM, replace one of the surviving prisoners above with Nur. Should you wish to give them a completely different sense of closure, however, have them find their friend dead among the flayed bodies on the floor. Wow. Okay. So we know what's happened. So we can choose what's happened to Nur, and we don't have to choose until practically the end. Wow, because Nur's just a teenager. Nur's just a kid. Is it? All right, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I feel like that. Like if ever there was a spend for darkness points there, it should be a chunk. Really, a chunk of darkness points tied into that. Wow. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough, game. Fair enough. We're going to scoot all the way back up to... Yep, this is where we are. Down. So what do we need? What do we need for prep? Because we've spent about 40 minutes just going through the books, refreshing ourselves. because I've only read it all through in one go once, and that was what are we on? Session 13, 14, 15, 16 sessions ago, and then we had about 3 weeks off in between part 1 and part 2. So it's got to be 4 or 5 months. It's March, April, May, June. No, January, February when I last read this book incomplete. So we went through the book again to remind us about this chapter. We know we want to kill off Artia ASAP. Either he's going to flee into the city to start a new life, or go and find more Burbacil to then come and get them. I think it might be good in terms of their reputation with the Syndicate and the Burbacil to have him escape alive. But if he doesn't, then that's okay. So, do we need to make some notes? Always. Do you want to see the notes? You might. Let's see, are we on here? There we go. Let's show you this. Let's bring this over. Look at that big white page. Yeah, it doesn't get much darker than flaying the person you've spent 4 months, 5 months of game time trying to find. And you can just choose. That's an odd bit. I think it's an odd bit of the thing. For a system that's so driven on story points, you don't have to spend any to just kill Nur. Just have their essentially fail. Think about that. I'll think about that. Prep session 6. All right, so what do we need to remember here? Arrive at... Oh, I can't spell. Pier 58. If in doubt, maximize player agency. Yeah, always. I'm not sure how we give them agency over whether they want to find her alive or dead without... Maybe they find some data that says their stasis pod, the biometrics is still intact. I don't know. Maybe we look at that. But all right, they arrive at Pier 58. Fire! Dead stevedores. Resonant. And then the residence event. Oh, I can't spell today, folks. How good is that? Thank you, Google. Fire. Dead stevedores. Resonance event. My girlfriend is missing. Can you help? My girlfriend is missing. Hi, So Much Game BE. How you doing? I'm just trying to remind myself of the things I need for the Coriolis game. I'm God Black tonight. And we're up to the point where I make strange and vague notes that we turn into useful notes later on. My girlfriend is missing. Can you help? We need to find her in the hammam. Find her in the hammam. Then what do we need from there? Then the assassin is gonna, if they dally, if they're loud and if they dally, the assassin's gonna blow them up. Or if they dally, order is gonna blow them up. Let's best find out her name, eh? Who is she? Because we're gonna steal her from a different section. Bookmarks. Wake of the Martyr. The Abyss. Is that still scaled right for you folks? It is. Court of the Slumber Queen, didn't do all that. Pathos, Darkness, Stories, Martyr's Embrace. Okay, Strike Team base, that's what we want. Zoom, zoom. Down a bit more. Modified hanger, top or shaft. The injector. Arif, Salma. Alright, so that's her name. Salma Obad. She's a deacon of the strike team and she is cleaning house. What page did we find that on? 90, page 90 of the PDF. NPC stats, page 90 of PDF. So she's the one they punted out of Coriolis. She got in a ship, she came down to Kua, and now she's just tying up loose ends, cleaning house before these pesky adventurers ruin their gig. Yeah, so maybe, what's the stevedore, what's her name that they're gonna, Coon Connection, Little Algol. Tamar? Tubra. Right. So maybe Tubra. Yeah. So they didn't kill the deacon. They didn't kill the deacon in the they have the fight in the cellar in the modified hangar where they're shooting everybody else. The way they dealt with most of those troops was to force the airlock open and have everybody shot out into space. So we spent some darkness points and made the deacon. There wasn't a fridge handy. No, they couldn't throw fridges. They were bolted to the wall just for that occasion. They punted her into space. She hit her ship, got in the ship and went back down to Kua. That's what we had her do. Rather than rally the ship and shoot up the side of Coriolis and strafing run them all to death. She's like, all right, shit's gone down, let's sort this out. So she's gonna... So the deacon's plan is get to Little Algol, and she's got there a day early. So rather than spend the time in the jungle freeing Bay Basin like these guys did, the deacon has gone down to Kua, made her way from wherever she landed into Little Algol, burnt down the warehouse at Pier 58, spent some time offing the stevedores. Now the heroes have arrived. if they're too loud, she's, instead of heading straight out to the marshes to prep them, get in contact with them, that kind of stuff, she's going to stay and try and blow them up. She's going to stay and try and blow the PCs up, get revenge for killing her strike squad. Yeah, maybe she doesn't go. She just stays and gets the strike, tries to get revenge on Zellion. Maybe we could have a bit of a fight scene. Tubra. Tubra the stevedore is missing. So Tubra has permission to? No, has perhaps seen Salama. I can't spell. Salama. Stalking her friends. Tubra is only alive because she was late. Warehouse. Yeah. Yeah, I think the Slummers Court is a really interesting bit, and it's got some wonderful parts to it. It's definitely like the Skivara NPCs and the lovely sort of difference between how, even though the players are pretty poor and live in the crappy parts of Coriolis, it's nowhere near as crappy as the cellar, and even their level of wealth is above the Slummers Court. But the Slummers Court operates on a different type of wealth. It's secrets and favours and that kind of stuff, whereas everything up on Coriolis is burr and fancy shit. But in the 9 days you've got to find the Emissary and Nur, there isn't time for that. And if it was my friends that were lost and the Slummers Queen was just like, no, do this fetch quest for me, I would either shoot them, Indiana Jones style. You know, my character would shoot Indiana Jones style. Anybody else got stupid quests for me, or can you tell me how to get down there? Or throw my bare wealth at them. I will take you down there. There's this wad your wealth and a trip back up kind of thing. Yeah, both of them, Bay Basin as well. A little bit of revolutionaries in the jungle. And they are really good bits, but they're 9 days to find Nur and the Emissary. Let's go off on these side quests of liberations and that kind of stuff. And if you devote time to that, like we didn't, and we've only got 3 days left to find the stuff. We've got 2 days. This day that we're about to begin on stream tonight, and 1 more day till the end of the Cyclade. So this day, I think, is going to pretty much be, the morning is going to be investigating, and then the evening is going to be the infiltrate heist. And then the next day will be overnight journey to the marshes, make our way through, massive fight, end of campaign. That's going to be that's literally our story, kind of we've wiggly overrun kind of thing for it. So this Salma, they only saw her for a day ago. It was literally a day almost that Zellion pushed this woman out of Coriolis. So yeah, I think Tuba is only alive because she was late getting to the warehouse last night. Yeah, it must be last night. Last night for loading cargo to get sent out this. What's that face for, fella hoodlum? What's that face for? So yeah, Tuba is only alive because she was late getting to the warehouse last night. And saw this dodgy, armored up woman. Maybe in the fire there's more than just one body. More than one Steve or body. Sloppy work killing. Hidden by the fire. Oh, just thinking, okay, yeah, you definitely need to keep the timeline square in your head for this. Is why I was very much like, I got a calendar and plotted it out. And if you go back to the first session, literally go backwards and forwards through the book. Yeah, and you're right, Jonathan. The last Cyclade definitely has more time because it's a whole year. Like where we end here in a couple of weeks, the next one doesn't start for another whole cycle. I don't know if the filler is useful for gaining XP. Like, I've done it pretty much raw. Like, the XP generation, and the characters are pretty hardcore. Oh, you haven't read the Cyclades like so much game? It's really good. You definitely need a save point in it. You know, like in the Dragon Age games where they say, do you want to continue with this adventure? Things will change and you can't go back. Which is the warning of like, go off and finish all your little side quests. Definitely needs a don't start this until you've done all your 90% completion. This is the story mission kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think the filler is there for XP. Could be some of the extra allies. Let's see, who would you get extra allies in? Bay Basin, you might make some more folks once they take over. Maybe. I mean, it's definitely not got the scope in it. You'd have to run it like months back, in which case Nur is definitely dead when you get to the end. Nur is definitely, if you did all the side quests, Nur is dead. Which is depressing. But then that sets you up to do the next campaign and claim vengeance. I don't know. All right, let's get back to prepping. It's 10 past 2. 10 past 2. It's lovely world building, and I think it's my general opinion that Free League want to put loads of extra stuff in their books to really make it great value. And they don't need to. They could have left those bit outs and it could have been a nice straight run campaign. And these other bits could have been short adventure compendium things they could have put. So the fire, Tuber is the witness to what happened. They're going to poke around the warehouse. They're going to poke around the warehouse. Tuber's girlfriend is going to come and say, "Did you see have you seen the bodies? Is Tuber there? Help me find her. She's missing. She never came home after night shift last night. If she's not dead, why didn't she come home?" Kind of thing. Who is Tuber's? Let's find Tuber's girlfriend's name. That's got to be useful. Events. Click. Is this it? No. Last pallbearer. No, that's not it. Tuber's partner. There we go. Are the PCs Waller? All right, Waller. Right, so let's run through. If they all do as they're told, what will happen tonight? And what do we need to think about for the bits after that? I'm going to arrive at the pier. I'm going to find that Artia's warehouse is burning. Artia is either Artia or Burbacil. Artia. Is that his name? Is now. Is either useless to them or gets killed by Selma. So Artia. Okay, let's double check because they'll remember even if I don't. Wake of the Martyr. No, wrong bit. Kuan connection. Lost in the jungle. No, it's not got. Okay, it's Ranquin Burbacil who's with them. Ranquin. So he is useless to them. Because he's not the guy who set this all up. He's just the guy who... He's just the middleman. They needed to have Artia, but they got the Burbacil captive. Good. Okay. That's made that a lot easier then. Is useless to them. And he could either what was the bit? There's a procession, isn't there? Assassin strikes only the dead. So there's this procession here. An intense firefight breaks out. Hired mourners, grieving relatives of the deceased flee for their lives, and so will he. Only the dead. Only the... So he'll flee during that. If they haven't already set him loose. Put that there, that makes a bit more sense. You don't need to see me formatting. Okay, what else do we need? Morning. Let's put a G on the end there. Oh, I did have the G. I just cut it off the end. Never mind. Oh, that was the other thing. Was clearing house. At the Hassam office. Everyone is dead. Communicator talks about Jarjam? Is that her name? All right. Still waiting for a payment from Dol Kassar. Talks about Dol Kassar, and hopefully they will remember that name from the last guest to the Emissary. Perhaps about the weird... I don't know about... No, I don't know about the other thing. Words, Millie. Words are good. People like words. Use them. So the Hassam office, everyone is dead. A communicator talks about payment from Dol Kassar before they can leave. Time off. There we go. So look, I can't finish work early for parties. I have to wait for this payment to clear. Dol Kassar isn't doing it. Just because you're having a betrothal party at the Cyclade, it's not my fault. Who is that message with? Does it matter? Oh, it's from Tubra. Oh. Doesn't need to be from Tubra, though. I don't think it is. That. We could make it from Tubra. Either that or Tubra's just playing around. I like you, Tubra. So what else do we need here? Let's quickly go through what we need to plan, because I think we've skimmed through everything. We've reminded ourselves of what's coming up, and we've covered off this as much as we need to. So I don't want to prep too much, because I will forget it, and that won't be useful. I think we've covered? I think we've covered everything. I think that's the end of our prep session. It's only an hour and a bit, but I think that's all we need. Could always come back next week or tomorrow after the session and do the next bit. Do we need to look at what's after this? What's after this scene? They need to go to the palace of Liod Dol Kassar, find Jarjaduga. So this Jarjaduga is the one who makes the bullets and also inspects the pods. And then they need to do a bit of swanky infiltration. Stasis pods with the mystics. They're all sent to Sulmaka, Grand Palace, and the Sitra Marshes. Palace was flooded long ago. Collapse of Catra 27. Following pieces of information. So this is just swanking around. So it's going to be important to read the bits. Brought from Pura to the workshop in the basement. Artia's payment from Salama depends on her approval of the condition of the cargo. She's also in charge of the... So Salma knows Jarja. So Salma is working her way up the chain. Maybe I need to just quickly read through this. Sorry, I'm just reading this bit here about the Emissary's pod. Alright, that one's been straight there. Okay, so Salma Abad is mentioned a couple of times in here, which is good if she's around. Maybe she can go to the party. We can deal with that a little bit later then. Smuggler Prince, gunsmith and engineer, yeah. It's guaranteed skill when it comes to engineering. Many important metalwork do the crest over the years. And Akuba is there. Okay, yeah, we don't need to sozzle my brain with more of that. I think this shoddy small bit of notes, this stuff here, is all we need for the next 2 or 3 sessions. all we need for Little Algol. Big Trouble in Little Algol. That's an awesome item. Excellent. Done. Thank you very much for dropping by, folks. Hope you had a nice chill with me. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for reminding me. I have Tipexed out large sections of my Coriolis book, my Mercy of the Icons campaign, to bank for later. We're going to be playing this tonight at 2100 BST. What's that in your local time? I don't know. But yeah, me, Graham, Martin, James, Ben, Pete, going to be wading through Little Algol tonight on twitch.tv/Garback You're very welcome to come join us, and if you can't, then it'll all be on Twitch later. This video, well, you obviously know where to find this video if you're watching it on Twitch, and then the rest of the campaign is over on YouTube. It'd be in the links. 3 a.m. local time, hoodlum. No, definitely wait for the YouTubes. 2200 here. Cool. Thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon. I will see you anon. If I can find the right button. There we go. Yep. See you later.